Hey guys, real quick, thanks for joining me. It's super late. That's how I run things. I'm a night owl. So Comic Con is real close, just around the corner. So because of that, I will be doubling up on videos. Look for another video on Sunday, another one on Wednesday, and another one possibly the following Saturday or Sunday. And then we'll have last looks on preview night. So that should be fun. Uh, this video is just basically the template build for the front portion of the torso. I started work on the chest piece, sorta. Started out with just, let's see here, a piece of cardboard. Whoops. A piece of cardboard. Flat. Like this. Alright, this is a plate, or actually a symbol. I cut another piece out, and this is what I got. You can see I'm gonna need it to bend up. I don't know how far yet. I think this is a 45. In order for this to work, though. Let's go under. It's gonna come down. Boom. Getting out is tricky. That's why I have these little things here to stop it, little spacers. There you go. I don't know, we'll see. This is what we're working on today. Okay, so what I'm measuring out here is the front portion of the torso of the power frame. I guess you can call it the ab section. Later on in the next video, detailed video, you'll see that I hang my fake sort of ventilation chamber and the lower half of the abs off of this cardboard here. It makes a pretty good base. And the back section too, you'll see I actually built sort of like a little backpack out of it. A single layer cardboard is pretty versatile, and when you add layers to it, it tends to stiffen up and work pretty solid. And here I'm just mocking up where I'm going to attach those two pieces together. You saw earlier I was marking it. Not having a lot of clamps and only having two hands, I sort of need to have everything pretty much good to go. This section of cardboard here I will eventually use for the back. For the shoulders, the shoulder blades that'll attach to the shoulders, and then eventually that's going to become the backpack sort of. And this here is the mock-up. Pretty much that's basically what it's going to be for the front half of it, at least the template or the base. And that portion there is the back half, what I was talking about earlier. That, like I said, will eventually become the backpack. I forgot to mention, if it wasn't obvious already, a lot of what I'm using to hold the stuff together is glue sticks. I'm not using the high temperature glue stick. I know it should be, but I figured if this stuff can hold up in my garage when it's 115 degrees outside, it should be fine. And what you can't see me quite doing, I'm making another spacer there for the chest, the ab section, out of cardboard basically. I need it to stay at that angle in order to give me some room, or else it does slide back. Oh, that's gonna suck. So, along with keeping that angle and just giving myself some room, it allows me to lift that back half up easier. It's a little bit more sturdy, it's a little bit more stiff, so there's something that I can actually push off of. And here we have the handle. Until I can motorize or mechanize the suit, I have to do everything manually. And then so until I can get everything operational, I am making these little handles that I can yank on while I'm either in or out of the suit. That'll open up the back. And here is the first step. Basically, so far what I've been doing with this build is gluing everything, just because I don't know how it's going to stand up. That little brace, you see me here gluing it to that top corner. After a couple trials, I realized that it's not going to work because I am essentially creating a hinge, and I need that to move. Glue does not allow anything to move. And so I discovered no movement, so I take it off. I start over. I also kind of tightened up the brace itself. Right there, what I grabbed was basically another piece of EVA foam, and I'm going to use that as a spacer. Not only will I attach the brace to that, but that's where I'm going to actually screw the brace into, and that will be a pivot point. Or rotating point, actually, excuse me. Okay, so what you can't see off camera is me discovering that I need more joints. Um, Having the one layer of cardboard on the brace caused it to bend unexpectedly. You could kind of see it there, how it kind of I broke actually a little bit of the cardboard there, but you see it bend there. So after doing it a few times and almost accidentally, I discovered that there's another point that it wants to naturally bend. I cut it, take it apart, and then I just basically just added another, I think, 2 more layers to that brace to stiffen it up, and it worked just fine after that point. And then I move on to the right side, and basically the same thing over on that end as well. So here's basically the finished product, or the first version of the finished product of the front torso. Here it's just basically me loading up layers. Once I pretty much knew what I was doing, discovered rather quickly that I needed to start adding layers, because once I started adding more weight to it, things started to sag just a little bit. So you've seen me wear this camel pack in the videos prior, and I'm not doing it for a fashion statement. This is actually part of the costume. What I eventually plan on doing is freezing that, so I have something cool on my back, because it is very hot, usually every year during con. So I figured I'd kill 2 birds with 1 stone and try to use that as a personal cooling pack. But I'm also going to use some of the straps, attach magnets to some of the straps to help hold some things in place. And what I'm doing here is extending the front sort of collarbone.
Cadence!